Hey guys, welcome to today's video, and in today's video we'll be covering how to pick up any object in Unreal Engine 5 with a camera fade transition like this. So I'm going to left click on the cup over here, and then the camera fades and unfades and the cup is in our hand. This is a pretty simple tutorial, so let's get to it. So in this example I'm just going to be using a cup, but it can be applied to any static mesh. So once you got your textures and your model imported, the first thing you want to do is right click in your content browser and then click on blueprint class and then select actor, and we can call this whatever your object is called. So then double click to open it, and we can add a static mesh. In the static mesh you can drag and drop your object static mesh into here, and then you just want to scale it so it's an appropriate size. So I'll bring mine up a little bit so we can actually place this in the world to see what it looks like. Okay, so that's of course a little too big. I think I'll make it even smaller. Then we just want to adjust it and place it in the right spot. So we can place it now, and we'll keep it like this for now. Then the next thing we need to do is we need to go to the blueprint, and then over here where it says the name of the blueprint itself, you want to click on that. And then the details panel, we want to search for tag, and then make sure it's under actor. We want to add a tag by pressing this plus button over here, and we can call the name of your object. So I'll call it cup. Then we can compile and save. And then we want to go into our first person character blueprint. You just want to go to a random spot in the blueprint. We can right click and search for the button that you want to use to interact. So I'm going to use left mouse button. Then out of pressed, we can get a line trace by channel. So then drag out the first person camera and get world location. We want to plug that into start. Then again, out of first person camera, we want to get forward vector, and then take this return value and multiply it, and then change the base over here to a float by right clicking, and then we can change this to a specific value. So I'm going to change it to 150, and this value is the distance that the line trace will cover. So the larger it is, the longer the trace will go, but I think 150 is okay, so we'll leave it at that. Then out of the top get world location over here, we'll drag out from return value and get a plus. You can add these vectors, and then out of the return value of the multiplication, we can plug it into here, and then finally plug the addition vector into the endpoint. And we can set the draw debug type for duration, which will allow us to see the red line that the line trace produces. But when your games are ready for production, you want to set this to none. So we can test this out now. We can enter our world, and when I left click, as you see, a line trace, a red line trace has been forming, and if it actually hits an object, a red square pops up. So we can test on this object over here. So when I click on it, the red square shows up, which means it's been hit, and that's good because it means the object has a collision. But if it didn't, the way we would do that is we just go into our static mesh and look for collision, and we would keep block all, or block all dynamic works as well. So the next thing is out of out hit. You want to drag out and you want to break hit result. Then we can just expand this. And out of this return value, first we want to get a branch from this pin over here. We can get a branch, and this return value goes into the condition of the branch. So essentially, whatever comes out of that branch will only happen if the line trace has hit an object and returned as true. So out of break hit result, we're going to go to hit actor. We're going to look for actor has tag. Now the tag should be the same tag name that we've given in the BP of our object. So for example, cup. And then we can add another branch by holding down B and left clicking. We can plug that into true and plug this as the condition. And then out of this true value, we'll sort of spawn the cup in the player's hand. So the way we're going to do this is we're going to click on first person camera over here, and we're going to add a static mesh. And then the static mesh is going to be the cup, the model that you have, and you want to scale it to about the same size that you scaled it in your BP over here. This is still a little big. I'm just going to reduce this, and I'm going to rotate it and move it down and to the left, so we can actually go into the world and see what it looks like. So I need to move it forward so the camera can capture it. You can see the cup is being held right now. You can see, and it looks like this. So I think I'll just move it a little bit more forward and to the left so you can check it out. And I'm okay with this. So what we're going to do first is go back into your BP first person character, and we'll rename this cup model. And then we want to look for hidden in game, and we want to set this to true. Then we also want to get visible, and we want to set this to false, so it's not in our viewport, and our viewport looks okay. Then out of this branch we want to drag out from the model, and then we want to drag out and get set hidden in game, and then the new hidden we set to false. So we also want to make sure to set visibility to true, otherwise it will not work. So we can test this out now. When I click on this, the cup has spawned in our hand over here, but this is still over here, and we want it to be sort of deleted from the scene. So out of hit actor, we're going to drag out and get destroy actor, sorry, and we can plug that into here, and it should work perfectly now. So when we click on the cup over here, it's gone and it comes into our hand. The next thing we're going to need to do is we're going to need to create a transition, sort of, where the screen fades so it looks a little smoother. So the way we're going to do that is, let's first add a custom event. Add custom event, and I'll call it fade in black. So then we're going to right click above and get player camera manager. Out of the return value, we want to start camera fade. So from alpha 0 to alpha 1. So it's going to go from no fade to a full fade. The duration is going to be how long it's going to take. So I'm going to say 0.75 seconds. And just to make sure everything's working totally fine, we want to disable the player's movement. So we'll get the character movement component and disable movement. So we can actually call this. So out of this true over here, the first thing we're going to need to do is call the fade in black. So let's try it out. So when I click on it, I should not be able to move, and it fades in black as you saw, but then it goes straight out to the camera fade just stops. So we want to tick hold is finished. Next thing we want to do is we want to add a delay, and the delay should be the same as this duration over here, but a little bit longer. So I'm going to do 0.6, and then we can delay even a short bit afterwards. I'll keep it 0.5, and then now we want to create another custom event called fade out black, and then want to get the character movement component again. You want to enable movement. Well, enable movement doesn't exist, so we want to set movement mode to walking, and then we can just copy this code, the get player camera manager, and start camera fade, but instead we'll go from alpha 1 to alpha 0, and we can call this fade out black. So it should be working totally fine now, and that's it.